September 2022 soul story. If you've got a sun rising or your moon is in the sign, this is your reading. It's Romy here. Thanks for taking the time to tune into my channel. I really appreciate that. We're going to open up September with the energy of the Ace of Pentacles. And this month you're definitely getting a little bit of an insight into what's coming down the line. What we want from that experience is for you to start calibrating to the frequency, the energy of that which you desire. There's a lot taking place on the mental plane this month. We're in Virgo season, ruled by Mercury. We also have a Mercury retrograde in the sign of Libra coming in on the 9th of the month. And so our thought forms are really under the microscope, and you might feel a little bit scattered. You might feel a little bit dazed and confused at times, but it's all an invitation with the slowdown of these retrograde energies to go inwards and take some time to think about the ways in which you want to start reprogramming your thoughts. You really have to get to the realization this month, Taurus, that the power and the abilities that you're using to commit to the parts of your life that are disempowering, that are old stories, what that means is that you also have the knowledge of what to do and how to do it. You just need to redirect it in the right places. And that Ace of Pentacles is telling me that there's something here that warrants your time, your energy, and your investment this month. I also feel for you that we have a little bit of a turnaround in regards to a situation. And I suppose when we're in these Mercury retrograde transits, we need to kind of leave a little bit of white space, not overcommit, not overbook ourselves, because there's a tendency for things to change at the last minute. But I feel that this is an important situation, and it may well be in relation to a connection or a relationship. What I feel is coming through in the course of September is that, you might have to go around the houses a little bit. There might be more than one conversation. You might have to revisit something over and over again. You may even feel that there are moments when you want to discard it or walk away or move away because you feel challenged. You feel put under pressure a little bit. But I don't think that this is about you really allowing a feeling, an emotive feeling of rejection or frustration to get the better of you. In fact, I think that you need to see these triggers as really activations in a way, invitations, if you like, to see where you are misusing all of that energy, all of that knowing. Because when we get back into the mind and we realize the way in which we are adding fuel to the fire, or how our thoughts are taking over or deciding what the story's going to be, then that chaos is something that we are participating and amplifying. Yeah, so the Seven of Wands says that you might feel that kind of pressure building. You might feel that there's an awful lot of provocation in certain areas of your life coming through, but sometimes that chaos can truly be a blessing. And I think this month for you, it does really act as a portal to healing and to a sense of really understanding your humanness, in all honesty, because yes, it highlights those parts of us that perhaps, are still a little bit disowned, and we're dealing with, perhaps some of those shadow parts of ourselves that make us feel really uncomfortable, and that's why we feel so triggered by certain things. But this is a month, we've got a full moon coming in the sign of Pisces on the 10th, where there's a deliverance of something that can be exceptionally healing. And it's sextile to Uranus, which means, especially as you're working with that Uranian energy right now, Taurus, you know all about that. But there's something about the unexpected scenario that sort of emerges around the conversations of that full moon, really taking you by surprise. And actually, I'm hoping that comes in a much more positive, auspicious way, and actually gives you pause to kind of reevaluate perhaps how you see someone or what you think of somebody based on sort of what they're showing or what they're revealing to you in and around that time. Now, Venus is going to be in Virgo from the 4th of the month, fellow Earth energy here. And in this sign, we want to problem solve in our relationships. We want to problem solve our money issues. And that's positive, but sometimes we can set our standards impossibly high. And so there's this reminder for you to try and find the mid ground, I think, a little bit. Now, one of the things I want to call out that's really going to work positively for you this month, Taurus, is that we have 6 astrological trines coming in September. Positive cosmic boosts of planetary hookups, 5 of them in Earth energy, which is absolutely wonderful for you, really helping you to lay a powerful new foundation with regards to something. I think that they're also helping you to adapt much faster than you thought you would to a situation. And in a way, I think that this month is giving you cause to feel like, okay, this is the new normal. And you're okay with that. In fact, you're actually positively glowing. There's something quite positive and auspicious that's come about from the changes, albeit as uncomfortable or life-altering as they may have been. But there's an upside to this that perhaps you hadn't expected or anticipated. Now, of course, we're going to be welcoming equinox on the 22nd, and this seasonal alignment is so important to take a check-in with ourselves and to try to rebalance. It's really important because we're getting this glimpse of what's coming down the line, that we don't block ourselves. And if we're really seeking that sense of inner harmony, especially in our thought forms in the mental plane, where we need to begin for you, Taurus, this month is about the promises that you have made to yourself. Because as you revisit them, as you take an assessment and a check-in on where you stand in regards to some of them, you realize that even though over the course of a day or 2 days or a week or a month or two, like moving away from those promises didn't seem that significant, slowly over time, you're pulling yourself away from the balance, from the thing that you knew would bring you peace. So you have to hold those promises that you made to yourself absolutely sacredly. And really your affirmation, I feel, this month should be make it sacred. Yeah, make it meaningful. Make it matter. Because it's those promises that you make that are going to keep you in harmony, are going to keep you in flow, are going to keep you in your truth. And yes, that doesn't mean that it's easy. Yeah, finding peace, finding that sense of inner balance and happiness requires a continuous level of bravery, because we constantly have to make choices and decisions that, yes, impact and influence the people around us, or the sacrifices and the compromises that we might have to make. But there's something here about the knowing on your part that in order to maintain or to find that sense of balance in yourself with your work in your life or within a partnership or a specific connection, this is what is needed. And remember, in Virgo season, 5th house energy, the levels of creativity, the desire for play, the desire to bring some lightness and passion into your world is going to be real front and center stage. 8 of Pentacles is talking to me about your ability to master something this month, but it does require some investment on your part. But the investment is kind of behind the scenes. Nobody else needs to be aware that what's going on in your mind in terms of how you're choosing deliberately to focus your energy or think better thoughts or align with the knowingness that something that you want is already done. Yeah, the investment that you're making in your spiritual soul journey and your self-care, all of those things that feel like, okay, maybe I could let that slide today, or I don't really have time for that. Actually, if you can make a conscious effort this month, you're going to see tremendous gain in your health, your well-being, your vitality. Remember, Virgo season talks to us about what can we digest? What can we no longer digest? What does our physical body have to say about the environments, the words that we're choosing to speak, the things we're choosing to nourish ourselves with? Now, you have some positivity around opportunities to stabilize something here. And I think that ideas can crystallize and quite quickly can show gain and promise through the month. So as long as you realize that even if you are challenged as you meet that challenge, you look at it directly in the eye, you're going to be able to really harness that energy and help it to drive you forward somewhere. And I think that perhaps some of the conversations that might take place around that full moon in Pisces are actually really going to make more of a difference than you ever anticipated. Because even if those conversations are with somebody and it's nothing to do with where you're making strides, like professionally or in another area of your life, for example, the impact, I think, around your confidence, around your sense of value, around the fact that you've been able to be witnessed or seen or heard or understood in that moment, it kind of has this ripple effect outwards that I think is really beautiful. Yeah. We need to remember that on your side, during this time, we have to speak truthfully and directly. And I think it was Brené Brown that said, to be unclear is to be unkind. And so we don't want to leave people guessing. We want to release the energy. If you're not into someone, if you know you're never going to work with someone, if you know you're not taking the job, if you know you're not going to do that family event, whatever it is, if you already have the clear answer, I think it's going to serve you to just be upfront and honest, even if it ruffles a few feathers, even if it causes a little bit of spilt milk, because this sort of complexity or this sort of way the energy can start running away because people are going to make assumptions around you this month, Taurus. I think you'll wish you had kind of met and dealt with it earlier in the month. So I'm just going to give you that as a bit of a heads up, okay? You can do it with grace, yeah? You can do it with compassion. You can be direct and honest and upfront, but still deliver that with a balanced energy. Now you've got Six of Wands here, which I love. We've got this recognition coming through. We've got this sense of something coming out. Yeah, there's a sort of public aspect to this. So if you've been ready to share something or ready to take a relationship to the new level, to go public, to make an announcement, or, you know, to receive news that's going to be celebrated and help you to feel victorious, you've got this right in the center of your reading. And again, it's absolutely directly connected to the work that you've put into something. And it's nice because I think that's the positive upside sometimes with these retrogrades. You know, it's like all of the work that you've done previously, now we're returning to it and we're starting to see some things coming to fruition. And yes, you might really feel at this moment that there's still more that you want to do, or there's more you want to add, or there's edits or adjustments that you want to make. But I'm going to remind you to just stop and actually recognize and celebrate like what you have achieved and where you have got to in relation to this, okay? That's super important. But I feel like you have a lot on your mind this month and you have a lot of changes that you're wanting to make. Equinox, beautiful energy on the 22nd to kind of have that balanced release and to really think about what would it take to help sustain this level of inner harmony for me, and making sure that the choices and decisions that come from that energy are really rooted in a deep sense of saying, you know, the contrast outside of me is going to continue, but I don't have to be along for the emotional roller coaster of it. What is it going to take to stop disrupting me at that kind of a level? If you come at it from that place, you're going to start to feel far freer. So there's an element of you creating much more time for things that truly matter in your world. And I think that's a decision that's going to continue. This is not just like a temporary, oh, it was really nice and then I have to return to. It's just like, no, this is going to feel like quite a permanent shift for you in your life. And I think you're ready for that because there's a part of you longing and craving, I think, to spend more time on something, with someone, or doing something specific. And if you don't give yourself permission, if you don't create that in your world, then no one else is going to come along and sort of reorder and reshuffle everything for you. In fact, you're just going to be more and more put upon with the suggestion of that Seven of Wands. You have something that's in like a hot commodity or is in demand at the moment. So, you know, also careful what you wish for, because I feel like you could get overwhelmed quite quickly with the amount of attention or energy that's coming towards you in regards to something, okay? So make sure you're going at a pace that works for you. Two of Pentacles, again, it's about the balance. Sometimes, you know, we need to juggle lots of different things and we feel like we're not doing anything particularly well. But as long as you are prioritizing the things that matter most to you, you will figure this out by the end of the month, especially around that new moon in Libra. I think there's quite a decisive moment for Taurus around then. You've probably had a couple of sort of tentative discussions, kind of planting the seeds with people. This is what's going to happen. This is what I'm going to do. And it's like, yeah, okay, no one's really listening. No one's really believing you. And all of a sudden, no, this is where it sits. This is now a real thing. And so I think there may be a few surprises that you're going to announce, just because there's a sort of exhaustion on your part, I think, to maintain or continue something that you know you've kind of outgrown or moved away from. So resources wise, I think you can make things work. You can make things stretch more than you anticipate that you can. But we also want to invite you to get creative. It's a really beautiful time through this season for you to consider that. As we come into Libran energy, 6th house for you, we're thinking about the way in which these acts of service, how you show up in the world, can really make a difference. Remember though, the more balanced you feel within your physicality, your health, your well-being. And remember, you know, we're often told to kind of drop out of the mind and into the heart. But with the new spiritual energy, it's about integration. You know, your mind is where all of this incredible knowing and understanding and ability to reach new levels of consciousness is working with you. So we want to blend that with the heart energy to move forward in this moment, okay? Let's take the next 3 cards, and we're going to actually pull these through our extended reading. So if you're new to the channel, you can find the link in the comment and the description box underneath. We'll talk for another 25 minutes or so, Taurus, just to give you deeper insight into the month ahead. I'm going to go ahead and clarify this reading as well and just get some additional messages for us to look at during that reading. So just beginning with the Ace of Pentacles. We have 6 of Swords coming through for you, and the 7 of Swords. Okay, interesting. 7 of Pentacles. You got all the 7s this month. Okay. Page of Cups. The Devil's coming through with that energy of the Sun, and the 5 of Wands. Interesting. Wheel of Fortune and the 8 of Cups. Sometimes these clarifiers can, you know, bring us some real interesting twists and turns to the story that comes through. 5 of Cups, 9 of Cups, Hanged Man, okay. All the decks that I use, Taurus, are also listed in the comment and the description box underneath. I'm just going to invite you now to think about a personal question as well that might not have come up in the main spread, and we will pull a couple of cards in regards to that for you as well. Now let's just see what the oracle cards are to join this soul story for you. Fuchsia and Feldspar, Inner Child. Oh, interesting, with the Sun energy as well. Okay, and then this is Life Soul Vision, my new oracle deck. It is going to be shipped in September if you have already ordered your copy. If you haven't seen the full deck, you can check it out over on my website, romywiser.com. Can't wait for you to start working with this. Finally here, so your card is the Queen of Water. Beautiful, healing elixir. Okay, I look forward to sharing that message with you and diving in a bit deeper to your reading in the extended. Thank you so much for joining me. I wish you a beautiful month of September, Taurus. Bright blessings, and I'll see you again next time.